Good morning. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us to the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the morning. My name is Bathinder. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional IGP is a training faculty for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualifications. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seeker, job holder, and also for learners, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we also try to serve more than 100 premium services for free, like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and world knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge, which can update all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, combat sites, and many, many more. We help empower youth to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinar and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we arrange with qualified trainer, speaker, and instructor. We extended free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliation with universities and organizations in different countries. Virtual mall signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering best quality service and continuous improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind you, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,386 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,386 webinars successfully. At present, we are going to start our 1,387 webinar, which name is Significance of Writing Research in Education. And today our speaker's name is Albert Daginawan Macado. He is from Philippines. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, sir, also share a very little bit about him. Master teacher to senior high school deputy quizzer. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir. Good morning. Hello, sir.
Y- Ayan, ganyan pala. Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good morning from Bangladesh. How are you, sir?
I am good.
Sir, the stage is yours. You can start your presentation now.
Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am, for a short introduction. To the Institute of Global Professional Organizers, thank you so much again for inviting me here as resource speaker today. To all participants from different parts of the world, and special mention to my Buena Vista National High School family, headed by our very dynamic principal too, Mr. Rogelio P. Villapando. Also to our very generous and approachable officer in charge, Assistant School Principal 2 of Senior High School Department, Mr. Ronald B. Magsino. To my colleagues and my senior high school students family who are watching right now, isang magandang umaga, tanghali, hapon, and good morning, afternoon, and evening to one and all. So the topic assigned to me this today's session is the significance of writing research in educations. So these are the objectives: discuss the background of research in its legal basis, enumerate the misconception in research, appreciate the significance of research in education and among its members, determine the issues and concerns of educators in writing research, and positive mindset in doing research. So, research is a process of identifying possible solutions to the complex problems of mind. It is the ultimate remedy when he is not capable of rationalizing the nature, causes, and effects of his problems in a short span of time. In a more comprehensive, from Killinger, as cited by Sevilla et al. 1992, defines research as a systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigations of hypothetical propositions about the presumed relations among natural phenomena. According to Calderon and Gonzalez 1993, research may be defined as a purposive, systematic, and scientific process of gathering, analyzing, classifying, organizing, presenting, and interpreting data for the solution of a problem, for prediction, for invention, for the discovery of truth, or for the expansion or verification of existing knowledge, all for the preservation of human life. Let us understand the basics of research. Research is vital for development. Everything that is now enjoyed by man emanated from simple theories and concepts that were gradually developed through research. The technologies that have been generated are products of research, resulting from man's endless quest for knowledge. The shift and process from the primitive society to the information society is attributed to the ability of man to search for information and apply this knowledge. Research is not only for the experts, the ordinary man can do it. A farmer without any formal training in agriculture is capable of generating technology based on his experiences in the farm. The time or season, fertilizers, mode of planting, cultivation, and up to the harvesting and storing are all refined by the farmer as he goes along. However, the quality of the produce, time, effort, money, and all other farming inputs are vastly different in the hands of the experts. Farmers who have gone through a formal, agricultural, and scientifically based education can make use of technologies to improve the quality of farm produce. So, at this juncture, let us define the legal basis of research in the Philippines. Because of this indispensable role of research in national development, Article 14, Section 10 of the Philippine Constitution provides that the state shall give priority to research and development, invention, innovation, and their utilization, and to science and technology education, training, and services. It shall support indigenous, appropriate, and self-reliant scientific and technological capabilities and their application to the country's productive system and national life. Section 11 of the Philippine National Constitution of the same article states that Congress may provide for incentives, including tax deductions, to encourage private participation in program of basic and applied scientific research. Cognizance of the need for quality research, many government agencies and non-government organizations design their own research programs to solve existing and anticipated problems, as well as to improve the quality of their services. In higher education, research is one of its important functions. It is responsible for conducting quality research to develop the future manpower resources of the country and to improve the quality of research and to develop a positive research culture in the academe. The Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, is mandated by the law to conduct the following: formulate and recommend development plans, policies, priorities, and programs on research, direct or redirect purposive research on institutions of higher learning to meet the needs of agro-industrialization and development, develop criteria for allocating resources, such as research and program development grants, and identify, support, and develop potential centers of excellence and program areas as needed for the development of world-class scholarship, nation building, and national development. To make higher education responsive to the needs of the time, the curriculum in all courses leading to a bachelor's degree and incorporate research as one of the requirements. Some schools require thesis writing as a prerequisite for graduations. In K to 12 curriculum, research is one of the subject offers to the students in the senior high school. In this, students are lucky for having a thorough background in the concept of writing qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method of research. It is their edge in continuing their higher education from undergraduate and postgraduate is that studies. So, what are the misconceptions of human to research? Number one, often overlooked and neglected. Most people don't want to struggle with complicated tasks. And since research requires systematic investigation, interpretation, and analysis of data, it requires extensive information and knowledge about the subject, which is why the practice of doing it is avoided. Another, to do research is to do library. Conducting research requires modern information that will provide extensive knowledge to the researchers that can be used in the proper alignment of words. Researchers sometimes need to find other information in other places that have adequate and proper facilities, such as a library, that they can use to continue their studies. Because of this, the researcher thinks that he is creating a library while he is doing research. Another misconception of human in doing research is tiring and boring job. Writing is one of the most boring and tiring jobs. According to the study of Armando 2018, 75% of people hate writing for different reasons. Limited vocabularies, writing is not their expertise, and they think that no benefits will come from writing research. According to De Jesus 2016, the performance and satisfaction of any person start with extrinsic motivation. Therefore, researchers are looking for possible benefits to them. Another is time consuming. Research writing cannot be completed in one sitting. It requires a long time, depending on the subjects to be studied. Because of that, most of those who conduct research do not finish because they think it is time consuming. Stressful because the research has different parts that must be completed. There is a standard format that must be followed. It requires enough money, talent, diligence, and perseverance. So it is said to be stressful, feared, and avoided. Before any research can be completed apart from the others mentioned, it first needs to be approved by the panelists, who sometimes stand to critique a study. Because of this, most researchers experience fear. And because of these experiences, it is known to others. So the result is that some do not want to do it. Now let us talk about the uh, values of research to a man. Research increases the quality of life. According to Universities Canada, basic research has led to some of the most commercially successful and life-saving discoveries of the past century, including the laser, vaccines, and drugs, and the development of radio and television. Canadian universities, for example, are currently studying how technology can help breed healthier livestock, how dance can provide long term benefits to people living with Parkinson's, and how to tackle affordable student housing in Toronto. We know now that modern problems require modern solutions. Research is a catalyst for solving the world's most pressing issues, the complexity of which evolves over time. The interwealth of research findings throughout history has led us to this very point in civilization, which brings us to the next reason why research matters. Research empower us with knowledge. Though scientists carry out research, the rest of the world benefits from their findings. We get to know the way of nature and how our actions affect it. We gain a deeper understanding of people and why they do the things they do. Best of all, we get to enrich our lives with the latest knowledge of health, nutrition, technology, and business, among others. On top of that, reading and keeping up with scientific findings sharpen our own analytical skills and judgments. It compels us to apply critical thinking and exercise objectives, judgment based on evidences instead of opinions or rumors. All throughout this process, we are picking up new bits of information and establishing new neural connections, which keeps us alert and up to date. Another value or significance of research to man, it research drives progress forward. Thank, Thanks to scientific research, modern medicine can cure diseases like tuberculosis and malaria. We've been able to simplify vaccine, diagnosis, and treatment across the board. Excuse me. Even COVID 19, a novel disease, could be studied based on what is known about the SARS coronavirus. Now, the vaccine Pfizer and biotech have been working on is proven 90% effective at preventing COVID 19 infection. Mankind has chartered such progress thanks to the scientific method. Beyond improving healthcare, it is also responsible for the evolution of technology, which in turn guides the development of almost every other industry in the automation age. The world is the way it is today because academics throughout history have relentlessly sought answers in their laboratories and faculties. Our future depends on what we do with all this newfound informations. Next, research improves instructions. Also, research improves student achievement. One of the new trends in education nowadays is conducting an action research in order to find solutions to the problems encountered in the classroom or school. An educational research could be done by a teacher, a group of teachers, school heads, or administration, or even the students. Gone were the days when teachers would rely on concepts found in the book or seeking advice from senior colleagues in order to solve problems in the classroom. 21st century teachers would create an intervention to address the problem, make a research on some theories related to the problem, test the intervention for data gathering, and eventually analyze the data gathered. In this process, teachers are able to find valid and more reliable solutions to the problem done in scientific way. In the article published online with Ian O'Barney, trimmed down the research processes into four basic steps. Number one, selecting a focus, collecting data, analyzing and interpreting data, and taking actions. The first step in conducting research is to identify and define the focus of your investigation. What particular problem regarding instruction or facility of learning would you like to address or solve? This could be regarding achievements, instructional materials, teaching strategies, parents' involvements, pupils' behavior, or attendance. So, by selecting a focus, you will be able to come up with problems which will guide you in your investigation. The second step is collecting data which will help you in answering the raised problems. To gather information or data which are useful in addressing the research problems, you may do some observations, conduct interviews, make a survey, or test the effectiveness of an intervention. Some studies conducted or researches made by others which are available in libraries or online may also help your gathering of data. And once your data are enough to answer the given problems, you may start analyzing and interpreting the gathered data. You must describe and summarize the data clearly so you can use this to answer the research question or prove your hypothesis. After interpreting the data, you have identified already whether you have tested is effective or not. This is the time for you to take action. Are you going to make a change or continue with what you have been doing before? Or you are now ready to do something in order to solve what you have identified as a problem? So as you go through the research process, you are able to know your participants better, especially the learners. Most probably, you would know the root of a certain problem and would find a solution for it. And hence, There would be improvement on curriculum, programs, practices, teaching and learning process, managing pupils' behavior in other areas which teachers or administrators deal with. Based on studies, some of the importance of action research are improve teaching, bring desired modification in the behavior of the students and students, teachers, bring improvement in the performance of the tasks and duties assigned to them other than teaching and behavior or modification. Another is solve problems related to indiscipline, solve problems related to system and examination and evaluation, solve problems of backwardness, improve attendance, bring professional improvement and excellence in evaluation, and create a healthy environment for teaching and learning. So, with the given significance of actual research, it is just necessary for educators to engage themselves and researches due to its impact in the formulation of policy and guidelines, making new instruction, and also it will help to improve the performance of the students. Another benefits or value of research to a man is research satisfies man's research is very essential to our innovation. It satisfies man's needs through making innovative inventions and medicine just to make humans' daily life comfortable and hassle-free. Example is internet. It passes the communication of people and give important information that makes our lives easy. We create research papers or activities because of our intellectual curiosities. First is we observe. Second is to make a problem that we solve that problem through systematic or step-by-step process until we reach the conclusion which answers the questions. Research is very important to us. Without research, we cannot provide our needs and to be innovative. It also trains the minds of the researchers. Another value of research demand is research reduces the burden of work. Consider you live in a society where no research takes place. How do you eat? How do you safely or sleep? How do you keep yourself warm during cold periods? Starting with even the basics such as this someone did research to find what things can be eaten, keep down, and didn't kill you. Someone found that sleeping off the ground got you away from predators. Someone discovered caves. Someone discovered painfully that fire can help in different ways, but you cannot grab it with your hand. Someone found that you could use wood to move fire with you. Someone found a way to start a fire without waiting for a lightning strike. These are items of research and it continues every day. Don't think so. The last time you made a telephone call, did you have to search for a pay phone or pull the cell phone out of your pocket? And another is research has deep seated psychological aspects. Research has deep seated psychological aspects. It challenges man to get rid of the danger of stagnation. It is an open door to a better tomorrow, and it guides him in his efforts to obtain good results, which contribute to his satisfaction and self fulfillment. So, let us tackle the benefits of research to education. Research has reasons why research is important in education. Research develops students into becoming more self sufficient. There are many benefits for college students to engage in scholarly research. For example, the research process itself develops students into becoming more self sufficient. In other words, students enhance their ability to ferret out information regarding a specific topic with a more functional deep dive into the subject matter into investigation. The educational journey of conducting research allows students to see the current conversations taking place regarding a specific topic. One can parse out the congruity and incongruity among scholars about a particular topic. Developing one's fundamental library skills is a tremendous upside in becoming self sufficient. And yet, another benefit of conducting scholarly research is reviewing other writing styles, which often enhances one's reading and writing skills. Conducting an annotated library is often a critical first step in conducting scholarly research. Reviewing, evaluating, and synthesizing information from several sources further develops a student's critical thinking skills. It requires discipline, focus, and effective time management strategies. Yet, good, bad, or indifferent, it remains that the process of conducting research is often perceived as a non-value added activity for many college students. Why is this so? Is there a better way? From an educational standpoint, research assignments should not be a one and done. Instead, every course should provide opportunities for students to engage in research or some sort. If a student must complete a thesis or dissertation as part of their degree requirement, the process should begin early enough in the program. But perhaps the important note for educators is to align the research process with real world takeaways that builds value. That is what wisdom is all about. Excuse me. The essence of research is a continuum. Only thorough research is the attainment of new knowledge possible. New knowledge formed through new research is contributed back to the knowledge community. In the absence of research, the continuum of knowledge is severed. Reminiscence of the continuum of knowledge, the desire in understanding to conduct research must transcend into the next generation. This magnifies the relevance to convey the techniques in the desire to seek new knowledge to the younger generations. Humbly, it is argued that education possibly serves to facilitate the importance of research. The synergy between research and education perpetuates the continuum of knowledge. Through education, the younger generation are instilled with the inspiration to address the challenges of tomorrow. Research it plants the seeds for scientific inquiry into the next generation. Research, whether qualitative or quantitative, is grounded in scientific methods. Instructing our students in the fundamentals or empirically based research effectively plants the seeds for scientific inquiry into the next generation. The application and pursuit of research catalyze critical thinking. Rather than guiding our students to apply pre existing and rote answers to yesterday's challenges, research inspires our students to examine phenomena through new and intriguing lenses. The globalized and highly competitive world of today effectively demands the younger generations to think critically and creatively in order to respond to the new challenges of the future. Consequently, through research and education, the younger generation are inspired and prepared to find new knowledge that advances our community. Ultimately, the synergy between research and education benefits society for generations to come. Research also serves many purposes. Imagine your doctor or pilot disregarding research and relying on experience, anecdotes, and opinions. Imagine them being proud of not having read a research article since graduation. Imagine them depending on the tips and tricks of colleagues. Research serves many great purposes, such as keeping up to date with critical findings, hearing the critics of current methods of teaching and running schools, standing on the shoulders of giants to see our world better. Given that so much educational research is now available, reading synthesis of the research, hearing others' interpretation and implementation of the research, and seeing the research in action helps. What matters most is the interpretation of the research. Your interpretation, the author's interpretation, and your colleagues' interpretations. It is finding research that improves our ways of thinking, our interpretations, and our impact on students. There is also much to be gained from reading about the methods of research, which provide us or ways for us to question our own impact, our own theories of teaching and learning, and help us critique our practice by standing on the shoulders of others. Research also helps to know what is exciting, topical, and important. It enables us to hear other perspectives. Statements without research evidence are but opinions. Research is not only about what is published in journals or books, but what we discover in our own classes and schools, provided we ask, what evidence would I accept that I am wrong? This is the defining question separating research from opinion. As humans, we are great at self confirmation. There are always students who succeed in our class. We are great at finding evidence where we're right, and we can use this evidence to justify our teaching. But what about those who did not succeed? We cannot be blind about them, and we should not ascribe their lack of improvement to them, poor homes, unmotivated, too far behind, but to us. We often need to hear other perspective of the evidence we collect from our classes and hear more convincing explanations and interpretation about what worked best and what did not, who succeeded and who did not, and were the gains sufficient. When we do this, the aim of improving our impact on our students, then everyone is the winner. Also, research provides explanation and bigger picture interpretations. Research and evaluation on our class in school can be triangulated with research studies in the literature to provide alternative explanations to help see the importance or not of the context of your school. And we can always write our experiences and add to the research. For example, we have synthesized many studies of how best parents can influence their children to become great learners. Our fundamental interpretation of the large corpus of studies is that it matters more how parents think we engage in parenting. For instance, the expectations, listening, and responsive skills, how they react to error and struggles, and whether their feedback was heard, understood, and actionable. Research is more than summarizing. It provides explanations and bigger picture interpretations, which we aim at in our book. Research give us better knowledge workers. There is a tremendous value for our society from student participation in scientific research. At all levels, undergraduate, master's, and doctorate students learn the scientific method that has driven progress since the Enlightenment over 300 years ago. They learn to observe carefully and organize collected data efficiently. They know how to test results for whether or not they should be believed or were just a chance finding. They learn to estimate the strength of the data they collect and see in other scientists' published works. With its fair review and wide visibility, the publication process demands that the works be done properly or it will be exposed as flawed or even falsified. So students don't just learn how to experience interviews or surveys. They learn that the process demands rigor in ethical conduct to obtain valid and reliable results. Supporting and educating a new generation of science-minded citizens make our population more likely to support proven facts and take unproven allegations with a great grain of salt until they are rigorously evaluated and reviewed. Thus, educating our students about research and involving them with hands-on opportunities to participate in research projects give us better knowledge workers to advance technology and produce better citizens. It helps educators have greater confidence to help students achieve outcomes. There are extensive options for instructional practices and programs in our schools, many of which are promoted and sold by educational companies. In brief, some of these works benefit students and others don't, producing no results or even negatively impacting students. Educators needs way to filter through the noise to find practices that are most likely to actually produce positive results with students. When a practice has been identified as evidence-based, that means an array of valid, carefully controlled research studies have been conducted that show significant positive outcomes from engaging in the practice. So, by choosing to engage in these practices, educators can have a greater confidence in their ability to help students achieve meaningful outcomes. There are organizations focused on evaluating the research base for programs and practices in order to determine whether they are evidence based. For example, some websites provide overviews of evidence based practices in education, while my website provides practical guides for teachers on interventions for academic and behavioral challenges with a research rating scale. Educator can use these resources to sift through the research, which can sometimes be challenging to access and translate, especially for busy teachers. Another, it supports vulnerable student populations. Schools may be specifically concerned about the success of vulnerable student populations, such as students with disabilities, who are at far greater risk than their peers of poor short and long term outcomes. In many cases, these students are already behind their peers 1 or more years academically and possibly facing other challenges. So, with these vulnerable populations, it's imperative that we engage in practices that benefit them and those so faster than typical practice because these students need to catch up. That said, every minute and dollar we spend on a practice not supported by research is a gamble on a student's well being and futures that may only make things worse. This population of students need our best in education, which means choosing practices with sound evidence that are most likely to help. If we were going to doctor for a serious illness, I would want them to engage in practice guided by the cutting edge of medical science to ensure my most significant chance of becoming healthy again. And I want at the same for our student who struggle in school. Another is research creates new knowledge and better ideas. At the foundation of learning is sharing knowledge, ideas, and concepts. However, few concepts are set in stone. Instead, they are ever evolving ideas that hopefully get closer to the truth. Research is the process that underpins this search for new and better defined ideas. For these reasons, it is crucial to have very close links between research and teaching. The farther the gap, the less informed teaching will become. Another, research provide answers to complicated problems. Another key concept in education is sharing the reality that most problems are complicated. But these are often the most fun to try to solve, such as how does the brain control movement, or how can we optimize skills development in elite athletes. Here, research can be used to show how many studies can be pulled together to find answers to these challenging problems. But students should also understand that these answers are not perfect and should be challenged. Again, this process creates a different learning experience and students who are better equipped for the world we live in. Another importance of research in education, basic understanding of research aid students in making informed decisions. We're already seeing the worlds of tech and data drive many facets of life in a positive direction. This will no doubt continue. However, a byproduct of this is that data and science are commonly misunderstood, misquoted, or in the worst cases, deliberately misused to tell a false story. If students have a basic understanding of research, they can make informed decisions based on reading the source in their own insight. This does not mean they disregard all headlines instead. They can decide to what extent the findings are trustworthy and dig deeper to find meaning. A recent example is this BBC news story that did an excellent job of reporting a study looking at chances in brain structure as a result of mild COVID. So the main finding of a 2% average loss in brain structure after mild COVID sounds alarming and is one of the findings from the study. However, if the students have the ability to scan the full article linked in the BBC article, they could learn that the measure that decreased by 2% was a proxy or estimate for tissue damage. Adults have zero point 0.2 and 0.3% loss every year naturally. Some COVID patients did not show any loss at all, but the average loss between the COVID and control group was 2%. We have no idea currently if this effect lasts more than a few weeks or months. More research is in progress. This is an excellent research paper and it is well reported. But having the ability to go one step further make us so much more senses of the findings. So this ability to understand the basics of research makes the modern world far easier to navigate. Another, it enables people to discover different ideas through research. Research is crucial to education. It enables people to discover different ideas, viewpoints, theories, and facts. From there, they will weigh up the validity of each theory for themselves. Finding these things out of oneself causes a student to think more deeply and come up with their personal perspectives, hypotheses, and even to question widely held facts. This is crucial for independent thought and personal development. To distortion and manipulation, a frighteningly future awaits us if research skills are lost. You only need to look at current world events and how freedom of the media and genuine journalistic investigation is distorting the understanding of the real world in the minds of many people in one of the most powerful countries in the world. Only those who are able to conduct research and evaluate the independence of facts can genuinely understand the world. Genuine research opens young people's eyes to facts and opinions. And that is another benefit of research to education. Furthermore, learning how to conduct genuine research instead of merely a Wikipedia or Google search is a skill in itself, allowing students to search through archives and find material that is not widely known about and does not appear at the top of search engine. Genuine research will open young people's eyes to facts and opinions that may otherwise be hidden. This can be demonstrated when we look at social media and its algorithms. Essentially, if you repeatedly read or like pieces with a specific worldview, the algorithm will send you more articles or videos that further back up that view. This is in turn creates an echo chamber whereby your own opinion is repeatedly played back to you with no opposing ideas or facts, reinforcing your view in a one sided way. Conducting genuine research is the antidote. Lastly, by conducting research, people discover how to write articles, dissertations, and conduct their own experiments to justify their ideas. A world without genuine quality research is a world that is open. Another, it allows us to understand progress in areas of development. Research is vital in education. because it helps us be intentional about how we frame and document our practice. At the Trust, aim to synthesize standard-based and stakeholders-driven frames to ensure that quality also means equity. Research gave us a lens to look across time and space and concretely understand our progress and areas for improvement. We are careful to include all voices through representative and network sampling to include multiple perspectives from different sides. Good research help us capture variation in practice, document innovation, and share bright spots and persistence challenges with peers for mutual learning and growth. This is the key to our work as educators in a city-based voice employing and seeking to amplify asset-based discourses in educations. Research represents stakeholders' aspirations and needs. When done in culturally sustaining and equitable ways, research powerfully represents stakeholder experiences, interests, aspirations, and needs. Thus, it is critical to inform philanthropy, advocacy, and the continuous improvement of practice. Our organization is constantly evolving in our own cultural competence. It embodies this pursuit in our research so that the voices of the educators, families, children, and partners that we work with are harmonized. This is done to create the big picture of where we are and where we need to get together to ensure equitable and quality conditions for learning in a new world. Research makes the problem clearer. In the words of Stanley Arnold, every problem contains within itself the seeds of its own solution. These words truly highlight the nature of problems and solutions. So, if you understand the problem thoroughly, you eventually approach closer to the solution, or you begin to see what makes the problem arise. When the root of the problem is clearer, the solution becomes obvious. For example, if you suffer from headaches frequently, your doctor will get a specific test done to understand the specific problem, which is research. When that root cause of the headache becomes clear, your doctor will give you suitable medicines to help you heal. This implies that uh, to reach a solution, it is crucial for us to understand the problem first. Research helps us with that. By making the problem clearer, it helps us pay closer to the solution. So, as the main aim of education is to produce talented individuals who can generate innovative solutions to the world's problem, research is of utmost importance. Research boosts critical thinking skills. Critical thinking is defined as observing, understanding, analyzing, and interpreting information and arguments to form suitable conclusions. In today's world, critical thinking skills are the most valued skills. Companies look for a candidate's critical thinking skills before hiring them or hiring him. This is because critical thinking skills promote innovation, and innovation is the need of the hour in almost every sector. Further, research is one of the most effective ways of developing critical thinking skills. So, when you conduct research, you eventually learn the art of observing, evaluating, analyzing, interpreting information, and deriving conclusions. So, this is another major reason why research is crucial in education. Another research promotes curiosity. In the words of Albert Einstein, curiosity is more important than knowledge. Now, you may wonder why so. Basically, curiosity is a strong desire to learn or know things. It motivates you to pursue an everlasting journey of learning. Every curious individual observes things, experiments, and learns. It seems that knowledge follows curiosity, but the vice versa is not true. An individual may gain a lot of knowledge about multiple things despite not being curious, but then he might not use his knowledge to engage in innovation because of the lack of curiosity. Hence, his knowledge might become futile or he may just remain a bookworm. So curiosity is more important than knowledge, and research promote curiosity. But the question is how? The answer is because research helps you plunge into things. You observe what is not visible to everyone. You explore the wonders of nature in other phenomena. The more you know, the more you understand what you do not know, which ignites curiosity. Another benefit of research, it boosts confidence and self-esteem. Developing confident individual is one of the major goals of education. When a student undertake the journey of research and come with important conclusion or results, they develop immense confidence in their knowledge and skills. It is somewhat related to self-confidence important. So why is self-confidence important? They feel as if they can do anything. This is another important reason why research is crucial in education. Research helps students evolve into independent learners. Most of the time, teacher guide students on the path of learning, but research opportunities give students chances to pave their own learning path. It is likely they pursue a journey of learning by themselves. They consult different resources that seem appropriate, use their own methods, and shape the journey on their own. This way, they evolve into learners, which is excellent as it sets the foundation of lifelong learning. Research helps revamp the curriculum and include proven best techniques. Research is critical in education as our world is constantly evolving, so approaches and solutions need to be updated to best suit the current educational climate. With the influx of child development and psychology studies, educators in child product development, experts are honing how certain activities, lessons, behavior management, etc., can impact a child's development. For example, child development research has led to the development of toy blocks, jigsaw, and shape sorters, which have proven to be linked to spatial thinking, logical reasoning, shape and color recognition, ordering. There is no one size fits all when approaching educational practices. Therefore, we can revamp the curriculum and include proven best techniques and methodologies by continuously researching past strategies and looking into new tactics. Effective teaching requires practical evidence approaches rather than making it a guessing game. The combination of work done by child educators of all ages and research in child development psychology allow new developments in toys, activities, and practical resources for other educators, child care workers, and parents. Such ensure children can reap the benefits of child development research. It enables a better understanding of how to adapt methods of instruction. In addition, with all of the various learning styles, researching the diversity in these types will enable a better understanding of how to adapt methods of instruction to all learners' needs. Child development research gives educators, child care workers, and parents the ability to guide the average child at specific ranges, but each child is unique in their own needs. It is important to note that while this is the average, it is up to the educator and child care provider to adapt accordingly to each child based on their individual needs. However, despite of those benefits and research and education, why research outputs are limited? Why school administrators, teachers, and students are not committed, passionately, and devotedly doing it? So, here are some of those reasons. Let us tackle the challenges of research and educators. Teachers who are expected to conduct research for the continuous improvements of the quality of education, students are faced with a lot of paperwork. an excessive number of students in the classroom that require proper monitoring and guidance, extra work, and coordinatorships. These are the reasons why teachers cannot conduct research. There are many things that teachers prioritize, such as family or even personal interest, which means a lack of personal motivation, lack of adequate knowledge of the correct process, or conduct of research in the same lack of support for people in the field, especially in the field of education. Now, how are we going to solve these problems or challenges being encountered by the educators, especially in the field? The answer is the mindset of a successful researcher. Can everyone be a researcher? I have encountered this question so many times in my life. My answer is always the same: no, not everyone can be a researcher because many people just refuse to develop the research mindset. But yes, if you are willing to develop a researcher's mindset, then yes, you can be a researcher. Now the question is that can everyone develop the mindset? The answer is yes. Of course, anyone can develop the mindset. This does not negate my first point that not everyone can be a researcher. But if everyone can develop the mindset needed to be a researcher, then yes, everyone can do it. Therefore, I encourage you to develop this new thought process and mindset. The researcher's thought process: why some scientists are successful researchers while some are ordinary or below average. The key difference is the mindset they have. They have developed a thought process that encourages them to think in the following manner: why and how it happened. If you look around yourself, you will notice that most people are usually focused on what happened. So if you go to a party, a dinner, or at a workplace or a classroom, what usually people are discussing? The unusual mindset is: did you hear what happened? Did you watch the news last night? Did you see what government is doing? Did you know that the John and Jessica have a breakup? An average mind is always looking for a what happened and is encouraging others to the thinking in this pattern of what happened. That is why the news channels are successful because they focus on what is happening or what happened. However, great researchers around the world have inquisitive thinking. They have developed this thinking by continuously asking two questions about everything: why did it happen? And how did it happen? Now, do you see the difference between the mindset of an ordinary person and a researcher? The researcher is always looking for the root cause and focus on why and how. For example, an ordinary person will talk something like this: do you know president is building a wall on the border? A researcher will say, why is the president building a wall? Let's analyze. And how can we build such a long wall? Is it even possible? How will he fund this project? And how can impact the country politics and economy? Now you see the difference. The researchers are asking a why and how in all circumstances. When they hear something, they have developed a habit to think in terms of a how and why. What I want all of you to do is to start thinking in terms of a how and a how in all circumstances. Even a routine conversation or a meeting or a family gathering, make sure when someone brings a topic of did you hear what happened last week? You will say, yes, I heard it, but I am thinking, why did that happen? Ask the other person what does or she thinks why it happened and what it happened. When you encourage the person or other person to think this way, you are growing and helping the other person grow. In that gathering, before you arrived, there was only one researcher. But now there are two researchers who are helping each other's mind and brain grow. Just change the question you asked. It will not just make you a researcher, but it will change your life forever. Let me give you an example. Let's say something tells you, did you hear John was hit by a car? You ask why it happened and how it happened. Then you force others to think about what went wrong and how it could be avoided in the future. So if someone says my baby burned his hand, you instead of just listening to the sad tale, you turn the question to how it happened and why it happened. So in this way, you just help a mother protect her baby from another accident. This is what a researcher is, and this is the researcher's mindset. You just think about the reason and logic behind everything. The why and how just change the question you ask in your daily life. Also, research under problem solving. Another way of thinking the researcher developed is of problem solving. This is the future based thinking. Remember, future based thinking. Future based thinking. A good researcher is a good problem solver. When you develop the habit of why something happened and what it happened, you were focused on the past. But when you ask the mother to think why and how you change the thought process to another level, the future based thinking. Now you are focusing on the solution, and the mother is also focusing on the futures. So what I want to do is to think about future besides the why and a how all the time. Ask the question all the time and how it can be solved, how it can be better, how it can be prevented, how it can be treated. This problem solving thinking and focusing on the future has given the humanity all the discoveries and inventions. The inventors and discoverers always think in terms of future. It means they are looking for a solution of a problem. The future based thinkers are as important as the past based thinkers. They solve the problems, while the past based thinkers tell us if the problem exists or not. You should develop the past in the future based thinking, and it is very important to become a good researcher in the future. Therefore, there are two kinds of mindset the different researchers have. The past based thinkers who always ask why it happened and why it happened, they tell us that there is a problem. While the future based thinkers are the ones who tell us the solution of a problem. A great researcher is the one who develops both mindsets. I encourage you to develop past based thinking and the future based thinking. It will not just make you an outstanding researcher, but it will help you in your personal and professional life as well. So, as to end my discussion this afternoon, I want to leave this word to you. Doing research is not going to be easy, but it is going to be worth it. So again, this is Dr. Albert P. Mercado, a senior high school master teacher too from the Department of Education, Buena Vista National High School, saying, A, adopt changes. L, look for opportunities. B, begin with choosing. E, exert effort. R, reward yourself. And time will be yours. So once again, thank you so much for spending your time with us, and God bless us all. So at this juncture, I am ready for any clarification from the participants. Thank you, IGP.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, dear sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for the question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back to our participants. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Sir, I think after a wonderful presentation, our participant can understand the topic very clearly. That's why no questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Again, thank you so much to our to my IGP family and special Greetings to my students watching out there, to my co-teachers in Buena Vista National High School. Thank you for spending and watching our webinar this afternoon. And I am expecting that you can apply what you have learned in this webinar.
Honorable sir, before we move to the
Thank
next
you so
webinar
much, IGP.
certification
God
process,
bless.
if you want to leave this studio, you can, sir. IGP knowledge seekers stand for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP knowledge seekers time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Today, have some technical problem. We cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Today, have some technical problem. We cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Dear IGP Knowledge is time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Go to www.slido.com and find today's quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining. Quiz code is Global IGP. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Please join in Slido with the code, and the code is global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code, and the code is global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code, and the code is global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code, and the code is global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code, and the code is global IGP. Dear participants, please join in Slido with the code, and the code is global IGP. With 25 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. Our first question is, in writing RRL, what part discuss briefly the research problem and the significance of the study? Option 1, introduction. Option 2, synthesis. Option 1 is the right answer, and 85% people are right here. In the leaderboard, John Amundsen is holding the first position. Our second question is, identifying the weakness found in the education system is one of research and writing. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 true is the right answer, and 81% people are right here. In the leaderboard, John Amundsen is holding the first position. Our third question is, according to Kaplan 2001, research into aspect of advanced writing in significant. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 true is the right answer, and 76% people are right here. In the leaderboard, John Amundsen is holding the first position. Our fourth question is, which is the best source of information for writing a research paper for your ED Sci class? Option 1 Wikipedia, option 2 scholarly articles. Option 2 is the right answer, and 90% people are right here. The leaderboard, John Amundsen is holding the first position. Our fifth question is, in writing a research report, discuss only the discoveries that are significant. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 is the right answer, and 34% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Irene is holding the first position. Our sixth question is, which of the following quality is not used in research writing response? Option 1 first person pronouns I, me, my. Option 2 direct queries we have come to cash a check. King J1. Option 1 is the right answer, and 71% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Evelyn is holding the first position. Our seventh question is, whose significant research and writing influenced Britain in reason and science? Option 1 Fred, option 2 Darwin. Option 2 is the right answer, and 44% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Evelyn is holding the first position. Our eighth question is, Which type of reading involves research? Option 1, informational. Option 2, narrative. Option 1 is the right answer and 74% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Tbillian is holding the first position. Our second last question of the morning session is students research and speak intelligently with organically about a topic of significance. Option 1, policy debate. Option 2, original oratory. Option 2 is the right answer and 50% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Tbillian is holding the first position. Our last and final question of the morning session is which level of significance is used in psychological research? Option 1, 0.01, option 2, 0.05. Option 2 is the right answer and 41% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group in Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group in Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group in Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly fitted skill, never stop learning, cause life, never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the hand like button, again wants to thank all our knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.